Let me ask you something that could change the way you see your entire existence. What if you had the power to transform everything about your life, your struggles, your fears, your pain into pure gold? And I don't mean literal gold, but something far more valuable: wisdom, peace, and the ability to create a life that feels like magic. What if I told you that you already hold this power within you, and all you need to do is learn how to use it? This is the essence of spiritual alchemy: becoming your own alchemist, your own guide, and your own miracle maker. Alchemy, in the ancient sense, was the pursuit of turning lead into gold. It was seen as a mystical, almost impossible process. But what the alchemists of old really understood is that this wasn't just about physical metals. It was a metaphor for the transformation of the self, turning the heavy, dense, and limiting aspects of your life into something luminous, light, and infinite. And here's the truth: you are the alchemist, and your life is the crucible. But how do you begin this transformation? How do you take the pain, fear, and challenges of your life and transmute them into something extraordinary? The first step is understanding that nothing in your life is random. Every experience, every struggle, every moment of confusion or despair is an ingredient in the alchemical process. The heavy lead of your life, the things you wish you could escape, fix, or forget, are not obstacles. They are the raw materials for your transformation.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Take a moment to reflect. What is the heaviest lead in your life right now? Maybe it's a fear that keeps you stuck. Maybe it's a relationship that feels like it's draining your energy. Maybe it's a deep sense of unworthiness that you've carried for as long as you can remember. Whatever it is, I want you to imagine holding it in your hands, not as a burden, but as a gift. Because here's the secret: the lead in your life is not here to destroy you. It's here to teach you. It's here to awaken you. This is where the process of spiritual alchemy begins, with a shift in perception. Instead of seeing your challenges as problems, you begin to see them as opportunities. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" This single shift in perspective is the foundation of all transformation. It's the moment you step out of the victim mindset and into your power as a creator. But let's be honest, this isn't easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do, because it requires you to face yourself. It requires you to look at the parts of yourself and your life that you'd rather avoid. It requires you to own your pain, your mistakes, and your fears. And most of all, it requires you to let go of the illusion that you're powerless. Here's a question that might sting a little. Where in your life are you still giving away your power? Maybe it's to a person, a belief, or even a story you tell yourself about who you are. To become your own spiritual alchemist, you must reclaim that power. You must take radical responsibility for your own transformation. No one else can do it for you. And this leads us to the next step in the process: purification. In alchemy, this is the stage where impurities are burned away, leaving only the essence of what is pure and true. On a spiritual level, purification means letting go of everything that no longer serves you. This could be old beliefs, toxic relationships, or even habits that keep you stuck in cycles of negativity. But purification isn't about forcing yourself to change. It's about creating space for your true self to emerge. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents something you've been holding on to: fear, resentment, shame, doubt. Now imagine setting that backpack down. Feel the weight lifting. This is what purification feels like. It's not about fixing yourself, it's about releasing what isn't you. Let me ask you, what are you still carrying that you're ready to let go of? Maybe it's a grudge you've been holding on to for years. Maybe it's a belief that you're not good enough. Maybe it's the need to be perfect. Whatever it is, I want you to know this: you don't have to carry it anymore. You're allowed to let it go. Once you've begun the process of purification, you enter the most magical stage of spiritual alchemy, transformation. This is where the lead of your life begins to turn into gold. But here's the thing about transformation: it doesn't happen in a straight line. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It's like a caterpillar dissolving into goo inside a cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. This is where most people get stuck. They start the process, but when things get hard, they give up. They go back to their old ways of being because it feels safer. But the truth is, transformation requires you to trust the process. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, you must hold on to the knowing that something beautiful is being born. Here's a powerful visualization to help you through this stage. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as a phoenix. Feel the fire burning away everything that no longer serves you. It might feel intense, even painful, but trust that this fire is not here to destroy you. It's here to transform you. And as the flames subside, imagine yourself rising from the ashes, radiant and free. But transformation isn't just about rising, it's about integrating the lessons you've learned along the way. It's about taking the wisdom you've gained from your struggles and using it to create something new. This is the final stage of spiritual alchemy manifestation. This is where you take the gold you've created and use it to shape your reality. So let me ask you, what will you create with the gold of your transformation? Will you create a life filled with love, purpose, and abundance? Will you use your wisdom to help others on their journey? Will you step fully into your power as a creator? So you've begun the process of spiritual alchemy. You've looked at the lead in your life, the burdens, the fears, the limitations, and you've started to see them not as weights but as raw materials for transformation. You've begun the purification process, letting go of what no longer serves you, and you've felt the spark of transformation, the first glimmers of the gold that lies within you. But here's the truth: transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. To become your own spiritual alchemist, you must learn how to keep the fire of transformation burning even when life tries to extinguish it. Let me ask you something deep. What is the fire within you that keeps you going? Is it a dream you've held on to since you were a child? A desire to live a life of meaning? A feeling that you're here for something bigger than what you've been told? Whatever it is, that fire is your greatest gift. It's the energy that fuels your transformation. But like any fire, it needs to be tended. It needs to be fed, protected, and nurtured. The first way to ignite and sustain your fire is through self-awareness. This is the foundation of all spiritual growth. You must become deeply aware of your thoughts, emotions, and patterns. Why? Because your inner world creates your outer reality. If you're not aware of what's happening inside you, you'll keep creating the same experiences, the same struggles, the same limitations. Awareness is the alchemist's most powerful tool, because it allows you to see the lead in your life clearly and choose to transform it. Here's a practice to deepen your self-awareness. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I feel today? What thoughts dominated my mind? How did I respond to the challenges I faced? Don't judge or criticize yourself, just observe. This simple practice will help you see the patterns that are shaping your life and give you the clarity to start changing them. But self-awareness is only the beginning. To keep the fire of transformation burning, you must also take action. Spiritual alchemy isn't just about sitting quietly and meditating, it's about applying what you've learned to your everyday life. It's about making choices that align with your highest self, even when it's hard. Let me ask you, what are you doing every day to honor your transformation? Are you setting boundaries with people who drain your energy? Are you choosing thoughts that uplift you rather than tear you down? Are you taking even small steps toward the life you want to create? Every action you take, no matter how small, feeds the fire within you. One of the most powerful actions you can take is to embrace discomfort. Transformation requires you to step out of your comfort zone. It requires you to face your fears, challenge your beliefs, and take risks. But here's the paradox. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that something's wrong, it's a sign that you're growing. Every time you step into discomfort, you're expanding your capacity for transformation. Here's a question to sit with. What discomfort are you avoiding right now? Maybe it's a difficult conversation you need to have. Maybe it's a leap of faith you've been too afraid to take. Whatever it is, I want you to remember this. The fire of transformation is ignited in the moments you choose courage over fear. Another way to sustain your transformation is through connection. Alchemy is often seen as a solitary process, but the truth is, we're not meant to do this work alone. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. These are the people who will remind you of your fire when you forget it. But connection isn't just about other people, it's also about connecting with something greater than yourself. Whether you call it the universe, God, source, or simply the infinite, this connection is what gives your transformation meaning. It's what reminds you that you're not just transforming for yourself, you're transforming for the world. Here's a practice to deepen your connection. Spend a few minutes each day in stillness, asking for guidance. You don't need to have all the answers. Simply open your heart and trust that the wisdom you need will come to you. This practice will not only sustain your transformation, but also align you with the higher purpose behind it. Now, let's talk about the importance of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to keep your fire burning, because it shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's already abundant in your life. When you're in a state of gratitude, you're aligned with the frequency of transformation. You're telling the universe, I see the gold in my life, and I'm ready for more. Here's a simple but transformative practice. Every morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes the smallest things, like the warmth of the sun or the sound of birds, can ignite the deepest gratitude. This practice will not only raise your vibration but also remind you of the miracles that are already unfolding in your life. But let's be real, there will be days when the fire feels like it's going out. Days when you feel stuck, lost, or overwhelmed. This is part of the process. Transformation is not a straight path, it's a spiral. You'll revisit old patterns, face new challenges, and sometimes feel like you're back at square one. But I want you to remember this. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, the fire is still burning. Transformation doesn't always happen on the surface, it happens in the depths. Let me ask you one final question for this part. What will you do when the fire feels dim? Will you let it go out, or will you find a way to reignite it? Maybe it's through rest, self-reflection, or reaching out for support. Whatever it is, know this: the fire within you cannot be extinguished. It is eternal, and it will always be there, waiting for you to tend to it. You've made it through the fire. You've faced your fears, released your limitations, and begun to transform the lead in your life into something extraordinary. But now comes the most important question of all. What do you do with the gold you've created? Because this isn't just about your personal transformation. This is about how you take the wisdom, strength, and light you've discovered within yourself and use it to create miracles not just for yourself, but for the world around you. Let me ask you something profound. If you could create anything in your life, without limitation, without fear, what would it be? Take a moment to sit with that question. Don't overthink it. Let the answer rise from deep within you. Maybe it's a life filled with joy and abundance. Maybe it's a deep sense of peace and purpose. Maybe it's the ability to inspire others and leave the world better than you found it. Whatever it is, I want you to know this: the gold within you is the key to creating it. The first step in harnessing your transformation is recognizing that the gold you've created isn't just theoretical, it's real. It shows up in the way you think, the way you feel, the way you move through the world. It's in the wisdom you've gained, the strength you've discovered, and the love you've cultivated. But here's the thing: the gold isn't meant to stay hidden. It's meant to shine. It's meant to be shared. Now think about it this way: what good is gold if it's locked away in a vault, never seen or used? The same is true of the gold within you. Your transformation isn't complete until you bring it into the world, until you use it to create something meaningful. So let me ask you, what is the gold within you asking to be expressed? Maybe it's a talent you've been hiding, a dream you've put on hold, or a gift you've been too afraid to share. Whatever it is, this is your time. But how do you begin? How do you take the gold you've created and turn it into miracles? The first step is clarity. You must get crystal clear on what you want to create, not just in your mind, but in your heart and soul. This isn't about setting goals in the traditional sense, it's about connecting with your deepest desires, the ones that light you up from the inside. Here's a powerful exercise to help you find that clarity. Sit down with a journal and write out your ideal life in vivid detail. Don't hold back. Imagine every aspect: your relationships, your work, your health, your environment. Write it as if it's already real, as if you're living it right now. Feel the emotions that come with it: the joy, the freedom, the love. This exercise isn't just about visualizing your dream life, it's about aligning your energy with it. Once you have that clarity, the next step is belief. You must believe with every fiber of your being that what you desire is possible. This is where most people get stuck. They let doubt creep in. They tell themselves, "I'm not good enough. It's too late. It's too hard." But here's the truth: the only limits that exist are the ones you create in your mind. Let me ask you something. What beliefs are holding you back from creating the life you want? Maybe it's the belief that you're not worthy. Maybe it's the belief that you need to have all the answers before you can start. Whatever it is, I want you to know this: those beliefs are not the truth. They are stories, and you have the power to rewrite them. Here's how: every time a limiting belief arises, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this really true? Look for evidence that contradicts it. Replace it with a new belief that supports your transformation. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," replace it with, "I am more than enough, and I am worthy of everything I desire." Say it out loud. Write it down. Repeat it until it becomes your new reality. But belief alone isn't enough. You must also take action. This is where the magic happens, when you combine the gold within you with inspired action. And notice I said inspired action, not just action for the sake of doing something. Inspired action comes from a place of alignment. It feels natural, exciting, even inevitable. It's the kind of action that flows from your heart, not just your mind. Let me ask you, what inspired action can you take today to move closer to your dreams? It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes the smallest steps create the biggest shifts. Maybe it's making a phone call, writing a single page, or simply saying yes to an opportunity. Whatever it is, do it with the energy of knowing that it's leading you exactly where you're meant to be. Another key to creating miracles is gratitude. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. When you're grateful for what you have, you align your energy with abundance. And when you're aligned with abundance, you attract more of it. Here's a simple but transformative practice. Every night before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Sometimes the smallest things, like a kind word from a stranger or a moment of stillness can carry the deepest meaning. As you do this, feel the gratitude in your heart. Let it expand. This practice will not only shift your energy, but also open the door for more miracles to flow into your life. But perhaps the most important part of harnessing your transformation is trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor even when things don't go as planned. Because here's the truth, miracles don't always look the way we expect them to. Sometimes they come disguised as challenges, detours, or even failures. Let me ask you one final question for this part. Can you trust the process, even when you can't see the whole path? Can you hold on to the knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when it feels messy or uncertain? This trust is the foundation of all miracles. Every step you've taken on this journey, every fear you've faced, every limiting belief you've dissolved, every piece of gold you've uncovered within yourself has not just changed you. It's creating a ripple that expands far beyond your own life. The truth is, when you transform yourself, you transform the world. Whether you realize it or not, the energy of your transformation impacts everyone and everything around you. Let me ask you something profound. What kind of energy are you bringing into the world right now? I think of yourself as a drop of water falling into a still pond. That single drop creates ripples, spreading outward in all directions. Now imagine that those ripples represent your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. They don't stop with you, they touch the lives of others. Every time you raise your vibration, every time you choose love over fear, every time you align with your highest self, you're sending out ripples of light that affect the collective energy of the world. But how does this actually work? Let's break it down. First, your transformation changes the way you interact with others. Think about it. When you're aligned with your highest self, when you've turned your lead into gold, you show up differently. You're calmer, more compassionate, more present. You're no longer reacting to life from a place of fear or lack, you're responding from a place of love and abundance. And this shift doesn't go unnoticed. The people around you can feel it. Have you ever been around someone whose energy instantly lifted you up? Maybe they didn't even say anything profound, their presence alone made you feel lighter, more hopeful, more connected. That's the power of aligned energy. When you're living from your gold, you become that person for others. You become a source of light in their lives, even if you don't realize it. Let me ask you, who in your life might be transformed by the energy you bring to them? Maybe it's your family, your friends, your co-workers. Maybe it's a stranger you smile at on the street. You don't have to say or do anything extraordinary to create a ripple. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness, the smallest moments of presence, can create the biggest impact. But your ripple effect goes deeper than just your interactions with others. Your transformation also inspires others to begin their own journey. When people see you living your truth, when they see you turning your struggles into strength, they start to believe that they can do the same. You become a living example of what's possible. Here's the thing, you don't have to fix anyone or convince anyone to change. In fact, trying to change others often backfires. The most powerful way to inspire transformation in others is simply to embody your own transformation. When you live from your gold, you naturally create a space for others to step into their own power. Let me ask you something deep. What if your transformation was the catalyst for someone else's awakening? Maybe it's a friend who's been stuck in self-doubt for years, or a family member who's been carrying pain they don't know how to release. Maybe it's someone you'll never even meet, but who will be inspired by the ripple you've created. But the ripple effect doesn't stop with individuals. It extends to the collective. Every time you raise your vibration, you contribute to the collective energy of the planet. Think of it like this. The world is like a tapestry, and each of us is a thread. When you transform yourself, you strengthen your thread, and in doing so, you strengthen the entire tapestry. This is why your transformation matters so much. It's not just about your personal happiness or success, it's about raising the vibration of the entire planet. Imagine what the world would look like if more people stepped into their gold, if more people lived from a place of love, compassion, and purpose. That's the ripple effect in action. But here's the key. The ripple effect doesn't require you to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to fix every part of yourself or your life before you can make an impact. In fact, your imperfections, your struggles, your humanity, that's what makes your ripple even more powerful. Let me ask you, what if the very thing you see as your greatest weakness could become your greatest gift to the world? Maybe it's your story of overcoming pain, your journey of finding your worth, your process of learning to love yourself. These are the things that connect us, that remind us we're not alone. These are the things that create the most profound ripples. Let me leave you with one final question. What kind of ripple will you create in the world? Will it be one of fear, doubt, and limitation? Or will it be one of love, courage, and possibility? The choice is yours. Your transformation is not just for you. It's a gift to the world. And as you continue to live from your gold, as you continue to shine your light, you'll discover that the miracles you create are not just personal, they're universal. This is the miracle of becoming your own spiritual alchemist, realizing that by transforming yourself, you have the power to transform the world.